Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be talking about one of my most favourite fragrances in my collection. I do have quite a few of my most favourite fragrances, but this is one of them. And I have never reviewed this. I haven't even hardly worn it. I'm going to get into it. What is good, YouTube? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mikeycologne. You all know that by now. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you to all my subscribers. And if you're new here and you're stopping by for the first time and you do enjoy my content, hit that subscribe button. It is completely free. It doesn't cost you a penny. Always press the bell because it will notify you when I drop a review at a later date. Right. This fragrance is one of my most favourite fragrances in my collection. Yes, I have quite a few favourite fragrances, so to speak, and this is one of them. And at some point, I will do a list. But today, I'm talking about a fragrance from the house of Parfums Paris. I'm going to butcher the name of this fragrance. I cannot pronounce the first word. And this is how I'm going to pronounce it. Epupa mon amour. This is a 70ml bottle. It is at the parfum concentration. The cap is solid metal. This is one of the most weightiest caps in my collection. If you know the Parfums de Marly, you know that they have heavy caps. This is heavier than a Parfums de Marly cap. It is weighty and it has sharp edges. So do not drop this on your foot. The cap does fit snug into place. You can pick it up by the cap, but I never recommend anybody picking a fragrance up by the cap, because if one day you haven't pushed it down all the way properly and then you go back to it forgetting about it and you pick it up and the bottle drops, you're going to be upset. Now, I'm going to dive straight into this fragrance. This is rich, this is elegant, but quickly, I've had this for about a year and a half, maybe just over, and I think I've worn it 5 or 6 times tops. And the reason being is that me personally, when I love a fragrance so much, normal people would rinse it. They would wear the shit out of it. Me, I go on the other end of the spectrum. I like to keep it. I like to savour it. I like to take the cap off and smell the atomizer, then put it back down. Because in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, what happens if it gets reformulated? What happens if it gets discontinued? So me, I literally spare the fragrances that I love the most, whereas most people would just wear them all the time. But yeah, I'm going to get into it. You got cumin and black pepper up top, vetiver, fir balsam and cistus in the mid. In the base is gaiac, sandalwood and tonka bean. I am going to spray this on skin. Nice atomizer as well, look. Pressurized. Oh my God, this is elegant, this is rich, this is classy. Now, it opens up spicy. The cumin here doesn't come across as BO, because some people think that, or sometimes cumin can work funny on people's skin where it can come across smelling like body odour. Here it isn't. It literally adds an ever so slight bit of funk in the top, which only lasts for about 30 seconds. But with this, it's spicy. Straight away, I get the sandalwood. Now, at first, the sandalwood does give off that pencil shavings aroma. After a minute or two, you will notice some sweetness. Now, as it starts to settle in and that opening calms down, you get an ever so slight or a light smoky quality that starts to make its way through from the back. With this, that sweet side sort of dials up a little bit. It dries down a little bit more. By this time, the spice is calming down, but still there. Now I start getting an earthy quality, and with this, it really starts, or that cistus, labdanum starts to come out. The fragrance starts to warm up And then it gets this resinous quality, balsamic, a little bit ambery, but it's not sitting really thick. Sometimes cistus, sometimes ambery fragrances, resinous fragrances can sit really heavy. This has some heft to it, but it's not as where it's cloying. Dries down a little bit more. Now, this is when the fragrance starts turning creamy. You've got the tonka bean, the sandalwood, which is turning the base creamy. Also, it's carrying the sweetness, or help carrying that sweetness through the fragrance. And the tonka bean does give off the tonka bean aroma. It's a little bit spicy, it's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit herbaceous. This fragrance does have a soft aromatic side to it. Everything in this fragrance is well done. Nothing really overshadows the other. Like, everything works in tandem. It goes through stages. When the spice starts calming down and the woodsy side starts amping up and that cistus comes out and that resinous quality is noticeable, dries down and it's turning creamy, it's warming up even more. The spice always lingers in this fragrance, and I think the tonka bean helps carry that through as well, through the life of the fragrance. But this smells divine. I'm no professional, no. But I would not change one thing about this fragrance. To me, it's for special occasions. It's for anniversaries. It's for weddings. If you and your family don't get together a lot and you do so every once in a while and you make an occasion of it, you go out and have a meal or you go and do something, where this fragrance, it's just, to me, it's special, it's classy. Like I say, it is elegant, it is definitely refined. And the spice, even though it has cumin and pepper up top, the fragrance is so smooth. And the more it dries down, the smoother it gets. And when that sandalwood and tonka bean come in and the fragrance turns creamy, it is an outstanding fragrance. Definitely for cooler weather. To me, it's masculine. It's a stunner. It's one of my favourites. And I just wanted to talk about it today. Like I say, at some point I will put a list together of some of my most favourite fragrances. It's definitely going to be, I'm not going to sit here and do a top 20 list. I might cut it into 2 or 3 reviews, because otherwise it's going to take an hour and a half. You lot know sometimes I go in a little bit too much depth or detail. Some people don't like that and some people do, but it's just the way I do things. I try and explain the fragrance as you wear it. Like, as the longer it sits and how it changes, I try and explain those changes for you lot to understand what you're going to be buying. That is just how I roll. But I would give this a 10 out of 10. Right. If you have tried Ebony Fume from Tom Ford, if you have tried Queers from Carna Barcelona, the opening of this will remind you of them fragrances. But the longer it sits, it does completely different things, or it goes its own way. The opening, that spicy opening, to my mind, I think of Ebony Fume from Tom Ford. But after about 5 to 8 minutes, when it really starts changing up and that cistus comes in, it does its own thing. Right, I'd love to know if you have tried this fragrance. Have you tried any from this brand? This is the only one I own from Ella K. So I don't know if I'm missing out on any bangers. I would love to hear your thoughts. Remember, smelling good's always a pleasure and never a chore. And I will see you lot on the next one. Cheers.